Yep, we are. Welcome back. Sorry for the break. We made a decision to switch where we were going to be streaming this live from. So rather than streaming it directly from my personal Facebook page, we were noticing that we weren't getting anybody watching the feed. So we've decided to go straight back to the Antigua and Barbuda Cycling Federation page to make it easier for people to actually pick up the race.
Yeah, so we're here just coming through Old Road now. The guys are still comfortable, just rolling at about 20 miles, 22 miles per hour. No stresses yet. Just enough to dislodge the other riders, but we still have this small pack, the front pack, which we have the better riders in. We have Robert Marsh, David Simmons, Gay Coates, Rennie Gerald, Sean Weatherhead, and they're coasting through right now. We're approaching Old Road, so we're going to go to the village of Old Road now.
That's right.
And the guys are just taking their time. Well, they picked up the speed a bit, up to 25, 26. So hopefully we'll get through these villages now and then head for the monster climb.
Oh yes. The climb they call Victory. You know what I find quite interesting? I remember when I arrived in Antigua and they said we were going to Victory Drive because that's where you keep your figs. And I was like excited. I hadn't had a fig in years. So I said, oh, okay, I'm going to go and get myself a fig. Now, for people that are not from the Caribbean, this is me just giving you some information. In Antigua, when we say fig, we don't mean fig. What we actually mean is bananas. Yes, that's what I said, bananas. Oh well. So at least now you know, if ever you come to Antigua and somebody says they're going to grab you a fig, it's a banana that they're going to grab you. And when we go through Victory Drive, I'll show you the banana farms that we have in that area. But we're now coming up to the Curtain Bluff Hotel.
Was it one of our 5-star hotels?
Yes. It's a beautiful hotel. I've stayed here. And again, that's one of the beauties of living in Antigua and Barbuda. Now that we're off season, you can actually go and do staycations at an absolutely fantastic price.
As they say, we live where you vacation.
Correctamundo. So there isn't a year that's gone by that we have not done a staycation on the island because we live in paradise. So anyway, back to the race. So we've got Cliff Williams is in front of us right now.
He's grabbing some footage as well, so that
right, yeah.
we could do some promotional videos. So he's also in the caravan trying to get some video clips of the riders taking on this gruesome challenge. And this challenge is put on by the Eastside Raiders in conjunction with the Antigua and Barbuda Cycling Federation, and is sponsored by Roberts Construction. And our live feed today is powered by APUA iNet.
Correctamundo.
And also to fuel the guys, we have been sponsored by Andrew Wholesale, where they sponsor the most used sport drink in the world, Gatorade.
Yeah. Now, to answer your question, Sharon, yes, you would have thought, but no, a fig here is a banana. But you can also get the original figs here in Antigua because my neighbor grows them in his garden.
So we're just off to a little bit of a late start. We had some delays. We had to wait on the police to approve the start of the race.
Yeah.
They had some emergencies that they had to attend to. But the race is off late, but we're off to a good start, and we have the 5-man pack still together. Sean leading the chase going down this small incline. We also have Robert Marsh, Gay Coates, we have Renegade Roll, and we have David Simmons. And this is the leading pack that we have here. We're just about getting through Old Road, and we're just about a mile and a half away from the base of the, maybe about a mile and a half away from the base of the first major climb that we're gonna do. So I see the pace has been picked up. Somebody threw an attack, but everybody's back together again. And we're just trying to maneuver ourselves through the village of Old Road. So David Simmons in the front, followed by Renegade Roll, then Robert Marsh, then Sean, then we have Gay Coates, and everybody's just rolling in a straight line.
I think it's going to be interesting because right now Rene got beat on the preem at the last race and the overall winner of the junior class. So is this where he now...
Well, everybody's taking on their fuel now. Gay Coates with his bottle, Sean Weatherhead with his bottle, because they're about to approach the base of one of the most gruesome climb that we have. Everybody, the line is now becoming everybody one for himself. David Simmons sorting out himself here, stretching his legs.
Sean's looking very comfortable, I have to say.
Well, comfortable, we're on the flat, so everybody can be comfortable. But in the next half a mile or so, we'll see how comfortable everyone is. For sure, we'll definitely see how comfortable. Yeah, they're cruising now. I guess they're gathering their thoughts. As you can see, there's no single line anymore. Everybody's checking. Renegade Roll just took his bottle, making sure he's fueled up for the climb. They're just about, what, 15 miles per hour, so they're just looking at what's going to go on right now in terms of the massive climb that they're going to take on. And as a gradient, what would you say this climb is?
At its worst, it's 24%.
24%, okay.
At its worst.
So we're just about probably a quarter mile out before we turn the corner.
That's it. And that's when the fun starts.
And that's when the fun starts.
But I think the other thing that we have to take into consideration as well is the road that we're driving on right now is 8%. So even though it may seem in the car that we're actually riding on a flat, it isn't. This road goes up, down, and around. No.
So there we go. And this is what we're going to call right now the calm before the storm. Because we have the veteran on the front now, and I guess right now where you want to be is at the front. Is exactly where you want to be, in the front. So as you can see, everybody, you see the single line format is now being moved to each man for himself.
As I said, I remember racing on this road a few years ago, and I remember it was actually Lindsay Duffy was ahead of me, and I thought, oh, I can catch her, because I was coming up the hill, only to find when I hit the hill, the climb had a different idea. Yeah, you see this bit here? You see? If you watch the pedal
So
strokes,
here we go, the first part of the climb. Everybody,
there is
Robert Marsh out his saddle, David, gear coach, Sean out there just getting themselves over this. But this is not anything to compare to what is to come.
Oh yes,
this is just a precursor of what is to come. Gear coach still look a bit fresh.
Yeah, they're all looking fresh.
He's still looking a bit fresh. Cadence is up there. Renegade all, cadence is good as well. Sean is moving a little slower alongside Robert Marsh.
Well, you see, this is where his weight becomes a disadvantage.
And now the real stuff has started. And here's where we're going to see the separation of the riders. And Marsh is out his saddle. And this is it. We're on. It's happening now. Yes, and it is happening now. There we have gear coats at the back. It is happening. Sean is at the back. And this is what we're talking about. The climb has started.
But if you look at the two juniors, look at how they're climbing.
Well, this is how they're supposed to be strong and fit. They're moving toe to toe, pedal to pedal, stride for stride with Robert Marsh going up. There is a second part of the hill which will determine who gets the preem or not. But Robert Marsh is now in the front. He's taking over the lead. So you have Gear Codes and Sean Weatherhead. They are off at the back. We have the three leaders now, and they're going to approach. Yes, and this is it. This will determine who is going to get the preem out. Here we are. Here we go. David Simmons to the front, pedaling away. Renegade Ross struggling off the back.
But look how he's making it look like easy work.
David Simmons is out.
He's making it look like easy work.
Renegade Ross, I'm not sure what he's up to. I think he's making it. He's not shifting his gears.
He is climbing that hill like it was not there. He is making it look so easy. He's making it look so easy. He is making it look like easy work.
So here we go.
Oh! Did he go too hard too early? Because now it looks like he's struggling. Yes, he's struggling. Look at the grimace on his face. Come on, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. We lost signal when we were coming through Victory Drive. So we are now back. So our apologies for that. Just a quick recap on what happened. So as you can see, David was climbing the hill and it looked like he burnt himself out. I'm hoping he gets... Okay, welcome back everybody. So it looks like we had a bit of a technical issue, but we are now back live at the Antigua and Barbuda Cycling Federation in conjunction with Eastside Raiders and Roberts Construction King of the Hill race.
But we know that the guys are just coming through Liberta. We have Gear Coats and David Simmons, they're together now. But in the front of that we have Sean Weatherhead, Renegade Rod and Robert Marsh, who is at the front of the pack up there, leading the race. So coming up Fig Tree, we had the group dismantled.
Yeah.
Robert Marsh reaching the top of the hill first. Then with that we had Renegade Rod and David Simmons. Then after that Gear Coats, then Sean Weatherhead. But coming through John Hughes, everything came back. Sean came back. He actually did a good number coming through John Hughes and descending. So now he has now passed David Simmons and Gear Coats. So Sean is at the front along with Renegade Rod and Robert Marsh. What we're looking here now, we're looking at David Simmons and Gear Coats. They're making their way through Liberta. Try descending that was. guys are coming through, trying to make up some time that they have lost after they put too much energy into coming up to Victory.
Yeah.
So it seems as if they have recovered somewhat, and they're trying to make their way back to the front. Not sure how easy that is going to be.
Well, I think for me, if I was David and Jay right now, I'd be working together. I'd be running a pace line to see if between the two of us we could pull back. Because you got to remember, even this climb here isn't an easy climb, you know. We're still looking at a 7% gradient climb before we have that nice descent. You know, and I think, you know, if you look at somebody like Sean, as I said, is about a 190 pound rider in comparison to some of these guys. So when you're climbing a 24% gradient climb, it's that much harder because of the weight that you're carrying. So put him on a 7-8% climb with the rest of the guys, he can hold his own, which is exactly what he's done, and that's the reason why he's pulled away from the likes of Gear Coats and David, and he's now chasing back to catch up with the likes of Rene Guerrero and Robert Marsh.
But again, they have had a descent, so that means they definitely open up another gap going down this hill.
Oh yeah.
Because there we have Sean
sure.
descending now, and that is at least half a mile in front of Jay Coates and David Simmons,
who are still climbing.
Yeah.
You know?
But they're just about reaching the top of the climb, so they're going to be descending in a few seconds. So hopefully, if they do a good ride, do a good descent, and make up the time going across the flat, hopefully they should be able to close the gap. And what they need to do, as you said before, they need to work together.
Yeah.
Working together is much better than trying to do it alone.
Yeah. And I think the other thing as well that you're going to find with somebody like Sean, in his past life he used to ride motorbikes. So when it comes to descending down hills, a bit like Alistair Savory, they don't seem to have any fear. So whereas you or I may take it slightly easy, nah, these guys will go. And the other thing as well, if you're heavier, you definitely go down the hill a hell of a lot faster. That we know for sure.
Yep. So coming across the flat, we have Sean.
So as you can see, he's got Sean here. He's looking pretty comfortable. As we're coming through, he's looking pretty comfortable on the bike right now. Driving hard on that big chain ring. Riding like a boss.
That's Sean trying to bridge the gap that is between him and Rene Guerrero and Robert Marsh up in the front. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try skip over to where we have the famous Shirley Heights, and that is a gruesome climb by itself.
Yep. But you know, given the choice, I would climb this Shirley Heights any day over Victory, any day over Folly. Because one of the beauties when you climb Victory and Folly, what you have on Shirley Heights, you have a break. So it's steep and then it flattens, and it goes steep and then it flattens. So you get an opportunity to catch your breath. You don't get that on Folly, you don't get that on Victory. Those are two very, very mean climbs.
So we're now approaching the famous English Harbour, and in the front we have Rene Guerrero and Robert Marsh. The two of them going battling 1 and 2, 1 and 2. I guess they're sharing coming across the flat now, just before they get to the base of Shirley Heights.
Yeah.
So there we have them in the front. So this is the lead of the race, the front of the race. Robert Marsh, Rene Guerrero.
So if you were Rene, what would you be thinking right now? How would you now tackle the second part of the race?
Well, all he has to do, and I guess that's what he did, but I believe he's riding too much of a big gear. You're not moving more than 20, 22, 23 miles per hour. There's no need for you to be using a 52 on that gradient. There's no need. You're just giving yourself too much work, right? So all he needs to do, go down, spin. He's still a youngster. He should have some, some life in him. So he doesn't need to be using the big chain ring. All he needs to do is to use the small chain ring. Use the small chain ring and try to keep up with the pace. He call you. Good. So we're just approaching the base of the climb at Shirley Heights.
Yeah.
So everybody should be doing the adjustment now along with Robert Marsh and Rene Guerrero. Whatever adjustment they need to make, they're doing it now because the climb has just started.
It's a nice steady climb.
Yes.
I have to say it is one of my favorite climbs. So here they are, both climbing the hill, taking it now.
You need something, Rene? Okay.
You're good? All right.
Well, he's good. He said he's good. Robert Marsh, right next to him. Climb his arm. Yes, they're at the front, so no need to front. Really doesn't have a nice pace. Rene Guerrero trying to cool himself down. Robert Marsh just nice and steady. So we're just about halfway up the climb at Shirley Heights. Both of them still stride for stride, pedal for pedal.
You've got Robert Marsh.
Yeah, Robert Marsh needing some assistance here.
So we're not sure if it's mechanical or if it's just a fluid that he wants.
Yeah, well, he's telling his support vehicle to go up ahead. So hopefully...
It's probably not mechanical. It's probably
not mechanical. Probably. Well, we don't know. We'll just take a look at the back wheel, the front wheel. The back wheel looks a bit soft. Yes. The back wheel looks a bit soft for Robert Marsh.
Yes, it is a wheel. It is a wheel.
He's not a...
Yes, he has a puncture.
Yes, he has a puncture. So it is the back wheel. He has some mechanical difficulties. Rene Guerrero.
Go. Is he going to go? Is he going to go? He's gone.
Yeah, so Robert Marsh has some mechanical difficulties there. Let's go, switch off. Let's go. Renegade all is at the front, so let's see what's gonna happen here. He's coasting away.
Is he gonna take it? Is he gonna take advantage of the lead that he's got?
Well, yeah, that's the best thing he can do. Take advantage of it.
Dig deep now.
Dig deep because you have a good and the marsh is off, so that's a good maybe 20-25 seconds ahead. So this is a nice steady climb again. Nice heavy steady climb. So
as he digs deep, because as I said, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not an easy climb.
And again, the gear again, he's not utilizing the gears properly. He's using too much of a big gear. You're going up. Now he's trying to adjust that at the back using his sprockets, but again, he doesn't need to use the big chain ring at all. You're moving at just 10 miles per hour and putting too much pressure on your legs. Cadence is low. You're looking at 60, 65. A youngster like him should be up at 90, 95 and just rolling up the hill. But again, these are things that need to be ironed out.
Yeah.
To make sure that you can pick up some very good speeds. Cadence is all about the cadence.
It is, but there are, there are two arguments. There are some riders that they have said are, like your Lance Armstrongs of this world, who were more big chain riders. No matter what the hill, you cranked it. Yeah,
but in as much as you have they're using the big chain, the cadence is up. There's no sense you have the cadence down.
But it wasn't that high. It wasn't that high. It's only when the likes of Froome came into the game where it was all about spinning to winning, based on power.
And you have seen what Froome has done year in year out with the cadence.
Yeah.
There's no one to match him in terms of cadence. In terms of cadence.
Identify the turnaround point up there.
Yeah, I'm going to go up there right now. Yeah.
Come up,
So here is Renegade. He's at the front of the race. Marsh had to deal with some mechanical difficulties.
Yes, he had a puncture on his back wheel.
Yeah, he had a rear wheel puncture, so he had to replace that, and that allowed Renegade to open up a gap. The gap is still steady. It's a long. We're just approaching the turnaround point right now. So we're actually approaching the turnaround point.
Yeah.
And here's where you can come on Sunday afternoons and have a good party-like atmosphere with live band. Live music playing.
Come on, sir. Use the correct terminology. I'm British. It's called a lime. Welcome back, guys. We're having some technical difficulties today. I'm not sure if it's the weather, but we are definitely struggling with making this and keeping this live. So our apologies. In front of us right now, we've got Guy Coates, who is in fourth at this present moment in time. He's got real good cadence. And coming back to your point, is he in the big chain ring? Or?
Yeah, he's good. He's just about 22 miles per hour. I guess he's just trying to get back into a rhythm. He just came off of the climb, the Shirley Heights climb. So he has just descended and now on the flat coming through Falmouth. So let's hope that he can bridge the gap back over to David Simmons, who is a bit ahead of him, because there's another climb that they're about to take, which is going to be the Horswood Hill climb. So that's another big one that they have to try to roll over as well. So yes, he's steady at 24, 25 miles per hour. He's just coming across the flat now. So Let's hope that he maintains this good rhythm and take it all the way up to the top of the hill.
When I look at his gear configuration on the back, his cassette, it looks like he's got a 25 cassette.
Yes. It looks as it's 1125.
Yeah. But if you look at the professional peloton, it's very rare you see anybody ride with anything less than a 28. And a lot of the guys use a 32.
You see, and this is another thing. These guys, we have to work along with them and let them choose the correct equipment so that they can best make it use the best equipment for the ride that they're gonna do. Because if you're gonna do 1125, you're looking at a race that is primarily on the flats. But if you have a hill race, you want to have at least a 28 so that just in case you need it, you say here it is, then where it is, than to be struggling going up the hills. And in this race, you will never find a race in Antigua with this much climbing ever. This is the premium. That is why we call it the king of the hills. So one must have taken that into consideration and make sure that you bring the correct equipment out to the race. 1125 I would not say is the best thing to do.
Nope.
1128 would be the premium, what you want to be using, and then you just maneuver between the chain ring. But hey, I guess to each his own, and that's what he's using today, and he's trying to make the best of it. And he just started the climb going up Horsewood Hill, so let's see what he's going to do in terms of trying to reduce the distance between himself and David Simmons. David Simmons is a bit in front of him right now, a little bit out of sight, but this is one of maybe the third highest peak that we're gonna crest over, and then we have another one which will be Folly Hill, and that will determine who's going to be the winner or the loser of this race, barring any unforeseen circumstances, meaning any punches, any crashes, or anything.
That's right, yeah.
So I would say that the order in which they come over Folly Hill will be the order in which they go on the podium.
Correct.
But it's not bad. He's hovering. This is a steep climb, and he's hovering around 10 miles per hour. So that is very good. Up until now, he's just approaching the middle of the climb. So let's see if he can maintain that. If he can, I guess he'll be reducing the distance between David Simmons and himself.
Well, we hope, because as I said, we don't know how David's doing on the climb. I mean,
I know he suffered. He suffered a bit on the fig tree, and also the Shirley Heights.
Yeah, but it looks like he's got a second wind because we can't see him anywhere. If you think about it, where is he?
Yes, he has cleared Horsewood Hill, because we're just about approaching the top of Horsewood Hill with gear coats here. So, and he's probably descending through Liberta. Yeah, so let's hope that he continues to ride the way he's riding. And if he does that, he'll definitely hold off J Coates at bay. But if J Coates decides to pick up the momentum a little bit, which he's maintaining a steady 10 miles per hour, and that is good coming up. Coming up this hill,
this is what, 16-18%.
Yeah, so he's going around 9-10 miles per hour after he has gone up to Shirley Heights and also Fig Tree. So he's still doing very well. He's just coming to the last maybe 30-40 meters before he can crest this hill, and then he'll be going down and then heading over to Folly Hill, where the gruesome climb will begin again.
That's right. Got another bike man there picking up his fruit before he carries on with the rest of his ride.
Yes. Well, that's a person that is just out for leisure. Leisure ride in the morning.
Right, Skippy. But yes, as a young upstart, I have to say, Gear is doing really well for his second season.
So he's now cresting the hill, just taking on a sip of fuel there, and then he's going to go on the descent.
And I think what I like, because even though I know Folly Hill is coming, between now and Folly Hill, you've still got a couple of little...
Yes, you have a couple of climbs still,
little pinchers.
Yeah, and they can do some damage as well. So it's for you to stay focused and just, continue along the climbing that you have in mind. Your mind is set for climbing today, so you have a lot of climbs, whether they be big or small. There's a lot of climbing going on.
And off they go again. So yes, Andre, I agree with you. These guys are definitely out there suffering.
Who's that?
Andre and Simon. But Andre, we need you to come and suffer with them when you're coming back, son.
Andre Solomon, what's up?
Simon.
Simon, sorry. I think this is way past Andre Simon right now. I don't think he can come back into this anymore. I think his days are long gone.
So as we go, second one gear. And it's like this little climb, this little rise here, it pinches.
Yes, it is.
It's a pincher.
Yes, it's short, but trust me.
Short.
You have to dig deep. Yes.
Look at it.
You have to dig deep. Look at them, maybe about a 10%.
Yeah, easy 10%, man.
Easy 10%, yeah.
And it winds round the corner to your right, and then it carries on up to
right,
your
and
left.
then to your left, yeah.
This ain't no easy climb. This is not for the faint-hearted.
So this race will definitely determine who can climb and who can't climb it. It's not about the flats. It's not about the speeds that you can develop on the flats. It's just how much you can take the punishment going up these hills.
This is one of the oldest churches in the Caribbean.
Yes, the St. Barnabas Anglican Church.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're definitely right there, Sharon. And again, Sharon, I want to apologize to everybody out there right now for the coverage that we've had today, and thank you for sticking with us. We really appreciate it. It's been a tough one today.
Well, for Sharon, she will definitely stick with us because she's actually doing some spying and some scouting.
Oh, you know what? You're right. We should block her.
So don't worry. If it's one person we know who will log on, it will definitely be Sharon. She's doing some espionage work. But don't worry. We have something up our sleeve, Sharon. We'll be there next month, about a month and a half or a month and a quarter. So don't worry, we will have a different package when we come down to Anguilla.
So is that David or is that Sean ahead?
Well, we're gonna close the gap and see what's going on. We have Sean, we have David up in the front, we have Renegade Rod, we also have Robert Marsh, who's actually leading the race along with Renegade Rod.
Yeah.
Rennie was a bit in front due to the mechanical problems that Robert Marsh had.
Yeah.
So the chase is on for Robert Marsh to connect with
That's David.
to Renegade Rod. So that's David. He's on his way back, and he's now coming out of Liberta, heading over to Sweets, then to Buckley's, then John Hughes. Then we're gonna go back to that famous climb, Folly Hill. So let's see what they can do coming up, because that's the last and final
climb.
major climb that we have before we get to the start-finish line.
And to answer your question, Sharon, Sean's in third position right now, so he will either be making his way right up Folly Hill as we speak, and we're actually racing to see if we can get to the front pack just to see how the guys are doing. Hey, she says there's no need for her to spy. Her guys are oiled and ready. Oh yeah. I hear some fighting talk there. I really hear some fighting talk.
Well, Sharon, no problem. Let's see how ready they are. I hope they're not, you know, when you have something in the oven and you think and it's cooked and you still keep it in the oven, I hope they're not overcooking right now, Sharon, because we have a package that we're going to put together for Anguilla, and you're not going to expect
what's about to hit you.
What's about to hit Anguilla. So don't worry. Don't worry, Sharon, we'll be there. And hope you like the package that we deliver.
Yeah, you gotta always have Sunday morning jokes.
So here we have David Simmons here, trying to...
He's getting a second wind.
Well, he's coming downhill and he has to try to make it, because you remember there's a climb coming up, so he wants to make sure that he can maximize his time on the flat.
Yeah, but you see, this is what people don't understand. The amount of effort that he's putting in on the flat is not the effort that is required. They always say that when you're on the flat, you just roll through it.
Well, I guess he's pacing himself. I guess he's pacing himself.
See, look. He needs the caffeine. Let you pass. Let's get back.
So here's David Simmons. He's just taking on some fuel here, just before the major climb, Folly Hill. So let's hope that he holds up Gear Course that is coming behind. Gear Course is pedaling nicely, trying to close this gap. So it's for David Simmons to try and hold him off as he gets to the base of Folly Hill. Seems as if he's just getting his legs loose, because the climb is about to start. And
there you go.
There we go. Climb is on. So we're at 20 miles per hour. Now we suddenly drop down to 10. So that is just to indicate to you that the climb is definitely on.
So as we go past David, we wish him well. Dig deep, son, dig deep. You've got this in the bag. Go, go, go.
All right.
And I think as we go around the corner, we're going to see Sean. There we go. There is Sean.
Yes, and the struggle is real.
There we go, Sean. Sean's digging deep now. That's right, showing everybody what he's got.
He's at around 5 miles per hour.
But he's digging deep, digging deep, showing everybody what it's all about. We're now probably about 18% climb, and he's making it look easy work, spinning away like a tree boss. That's what it's all about.
All right.
Yeah. Now we're going to see if we can catch the front too. That's what I love. Everybody's on their
Sean Weatherhead, overall in third place. There's still Mr. Renegade Hall and Robert Marsh in the front. Just to determine the positions, we have to probably get a hold of one of them. I'm not sure if they're back together as yet. But let's see. And as I said, depending on who gets over the hill and the order they get over Folly Hill, I believe that you can call it like that. Because other than that, something must go wrong with someone for them
to lose the
to
spot.
lose that position that they're in. Okay.
So, let's press the top.
It's more than
It's in here somewhere. I thought it would have been at the front. Police are on their way to meet you.
Oh, okay. That's Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's where he is going. So we just passing the famous zip line, Antigua zip line tours, and we're gonna just about start the descent down Fig Tree, and that would be the major descent, the last major descent or the last major climb.
Those guys are moving at a lick because we cannot see one of them.
That's right.
Okay.
So these guys have been descending very, very quickly. We're now heading back down Fig Tree. None of the two riders in the front are in sight. Robert Marsh and Renegade Hall.
It's got to be easy a mile ahead of the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
Easily.
Here we have our motorcyclist that's assisting us in the race today. And we're still a little ways off. We still can't catch up with the lead pack, or the two lead riders, Robert Marsh and Renegade Hall.
So that means at least 2 miles ahead of
They
everybody.
seem as if they're riding a good race. The race is on.
Still no sign.
So we're just approaching the start of Old Road,
Yeah.
and
Let's go through.
I'm hoping that we could catch up with these guys now. And
Here are all the figs, by the way. Going through all the bananas.
yes, all the bananas.
Forgot to mention it earlier.
Yes,
It's
famous Fig Tree.
Personally, I think they should call it Mango Alley. The mango trees.
Yeah, there's a
in
lot
that
of
road.
mango trees in this area as well.
I think we may have caught the pack as I see flashing lights.
Yes, with the support vehicle. So we have Renegade all.
Is he with Robert or is he by with Robert past him? Can't tell. Oh, we've got the police. So search for Renee.